Toby Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland each have their own unique traits to the iconic hero. But who is the best Spider-Man? Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into discovering who's the best Spider-Man out of the three, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more similar content. From J.K. Simmons to Emma Stone, Bill Nunn to Marisa Tomei, the Spider-Man film franchise has been blessed with extraordinary talents in front of the camera since its inception in 2002. Starring and supporting characters alike are filled with some of the most talented actors in Hollywood, bringing believable human performances to the amazing world created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. In addition to the exceptional supporting cast, the three actors to portray the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in live action, Toby Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, have each brought their own unique traits to the web-slinging hero. But which one would fans say is the best? While they all provided memorable performances, some parts in the movies helped them stand out and succeed more than others. With Tom Holland's No Way Home having the second biggest opening weekend and earning more than $1 billion worldwide, it's pretty obvious that he ended his trilogy on a high note. However, just because it is the most successful movie out of all the live-action Spider-Men does not mean that Holland is the best one. With Golden Globe nominee Toby Maguire and recent Golden Globe winner Andrew Garfield also putting in amazing performances in Sam Raimi's and Mark Webb's movies separately, it's not surprising that fans have been struggling to choose between them. Nevertheless, while they have all provided iconic performances, there are certainly great elements in each movie that have helped all three actors portray the web-slinger differently. Toby Maguire. Maguire was able to portray Peter's struggles effectively. One of the underlying, fundamental aspects of Spider-Man is that he simply can't have things go his way, and Maguire shines when portraying the frustration and acceptance Peter feels. Spider-Man 2's Pizza Time opening remains one of the most entertaining superhero movie intros ever. Peter desperately tries to beat the clock on delivering a stack of pizzas so he can keep his job, swinging across the city while still heroically saving a couple of kids in the street. He sneaks into his destination through a janitor's closet, but despite his best efforts, he's a few minutes late. The pained look on Maguire's face says everything as he quietly accepts his fate. The audience knows Peter is always trying to do the right thing, which makes it that much harder when he can't catch a break. Maguire's portrayal had the best comic book feel. Regardless of where Holland takes the character, Maguire's Spider-Man will forever be remembered for the exciting, comic book fun that it is. Maguire and Raimi managed to craft Peter as a relatable human being who just happens to be put in extraordinary circumstances, and Maguire plays to that element perfectly. One of the best decisions Raimi made was allowing Maguire's face to be shown during each film's climax. Each villain, Norman Osborn, Otto Octavius, Harry Osborn, Flint Marko, and Eddie Brock, had a personal connection to Peter, and having them see Peter, and not just Spider-Man, attempting to save their lives allows the humanity of the comics to come through the screen. Maguire was the best Peter Parker. While all three actors provide a refreshing take on how Peter Parker should behave, it is Maguire's version that is fondly remembered the most. When it comes to his portrayal, Maguire's clumsy and awkward mannerisms are perfect, as it means that his Peter can blend into his surroundings a lot easier. Andrew Garfield. Garfield had great emotional vulnerability range. Thanks in part to director Mark Webb's desire to let the smaller, character moments play out in his films, Garfield excels at getting an opportunity to portray Peter's humanity through his emotional availability. This is evident in The Amazing Spider-Man after Peter sneaks into Gwen's bedroom and expresses his guilt over Dr. Connor's transformation. Here he conveys that he's learning to embrace the responsibility his Uncle Ben had spoken about. Garfield brings a particular vulnerability to his performance that allows the audience in on the pain and the growth he's experiencing. Garfield's portrayal was the most realistic. Garfield was already in his late 20s when he donned the spider outfit, but nevertheless, he nails the look and feel of the superhero. Maguire was a bit bulkier and never looked older than his age, and while Holland certainly is the right age and has the physical chops, he doesn't quite match up to the tall and slender Garfield. As Peter, Garfield captures the brilliant but socially awkward teenage nerd who also isn't afraid to stand up for people. He has an edge and a teenage angst that feels very realistic, perhaps due to him being slightly older when he was cast and having had time to be introspective of his teenage years. Garfield had the best acting. Having already begun to garner critical acclaim for his performance in The Social Network and Never Let Me Go, Garfield was the most accomplished actor to be cast as Peter Parker. Indeed, his performance as Peter and Spider-Man never feels like acting. It feels like he's living through the extraordinary moments he's experiencing. While Maguire's acting works within Raimi's over-the-top, heartfelt world and Holland delivers the goods on lines such as, "Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good," Garfield consistently and quietly kills it in his role, never giving the scene more than it needs, and often burying subtle facial gestures and speech patterns into his performance. Emotional moments such as Peter's breakup with Gwen or Gwen's demise demonstrate the soft touch Garfield is capable of laying on the table. Tom Holland. Holland's youthfulness helped to shape the character. Out of all of the actors, Holland best exemplifies the youthful, teenage exuberance of Peter Parker. This is because Holland was by far the youngest of the three when he first appeared in the role, being only 19 years old in Captain America: Civil War. Holland does so well at demonstrating the obvious shock and awe a teenager would exhibit when put in the extraordinary circumstances he faces. In his scenes with the Avengers, he is consistently starstruck by their presence, and when engaging in battle, he offers a never-ending string of quips that demonstrates his nervous energy. This is memorably played for laughs in his very first appearance as Spider-Man in Civil War, when he battles Bucky, Falcon, and Ant-Man. Holland's physicality helps strengthen the role. Before being cast as the third live-action actor to play Spider-Man on the big screen, Holland was already an accomplished gymnast and dancer, which he was eager to show the production team in his audition, via Associated Press. Holland's physical capabilities did indeed assist him in both landing the role and shaping it. The stunt teams worked with Holland extensively to lend more credibility to the part, allowing Holland to participate in a good amount of Spider-Man stunts. Not that Garfield or Maguire were slouches in their spandex, but Holland embodies the physical movements of Spider-Man better than either previous incarnation, which should assist him in his upcoming adventures as the mountain-climbing Nathan Drake. Holland's Spider-Man had the greatest appeal. Entering a franchise with notably older actors, Holland instantly helped appeal to a younger audience who could see him as more relatable than Iron Man, Captain America, or Thor. Additionally, being thrust into the MCU immediately increased his exposure and injected youthful life into the already thriving franchise, with Holland's genuine excitement becoming apparent in his famously spoilerish interviews. From being a naive and impulsive teenager to a mature and independent young man, Holland's Peter underwent a tremendous character arc. He might not have known how to handle the responsibility of being a hero at first, but audiences eventually saw him grow into the position as the years went on, to the extent that he became a great leader. After laying out everyone's cases, we think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, as his version is the one that can mix both sides of the character better, making it the most lived-in version of Spider-Man. To be the perfect version, he still has to become more sarcastic and funny with his quips while fighting, but that's something that would come with the confidence of being Spider-Man for a few years. Now let's hope the MCU has another Spider-Man franchise in them, led by Holland, so we can see him fighting new villains, getting Harry Osborn as a friend, and maybe even falling in love with Gwen Stacy or Felicia Hardy before MJ's Zendaya comes back for the last film in the trilogy. Let's dream about all that with the greatest Spider-Man there's ever been in a film. Whom do you think was the best? Let us know in the comments section below.